Hi, this is Elena again, and welcome to ETO Online Training Module 5, Part 1. Today we'll be discussing reporting from ETO. Feel free to follow along in the training program or your own program if you have access already. So what is ETO Results? ETO Results is the tool that we use for real-time reporting. The data that are entered into ETO are transformed into reports and results to be used by program staff or L&E. The Learning and Evaluation Department staff develop these reports, and we are able to modify them. So we divide our reports into two types: standard reports and custom reports. And you can find these types of reports on your homepage under those two headings. So standard reports are reports that all of us at LAYC use. They include our demographics, raw demographics, attendance, and dismissals reports. And I'll lead you through running each of these reports throughout these two modules. So custom reports are reports that are specific to a program, a department, or a type of program. So for example, you may have a custom case notes report for your program and also use our custom LAYC grades report if your program collects grades data. So now I'm going to go through how to run a report, and we'll start out with the demographics report for that. So let's click on the demographics report. And so you'll see that it'll take a second to come up here, and a prompt should automatically pop up. So here we go, we have the prompt. And so what we're going to do is enter a begin date and end date for the report. This is the time frame for which you want the report to pull data. And so you can use the calendar icon to find the dates that you need. So I'm going to choose a begin date, and I'm going to run this report for the past fiscal year, which is FY17. So I'm going to go back to October 1st, 2016. And then I'm going to click end date to get my end date in there. And the end date for FY17 was September 30th, 2017. And then you're going to put in your program name. You can run the demographics report for all of the programs that you have access to. If no programs or the wrong ones show up, you can click this refresh values button to get a list of all of the programs that you're able to run the report for. So as you can see, I have access to a bunch of different programs. And so you can also search for a program in this toolbar down here. So I'm going to run this report for two of our housing programs together. I'm going to run it for the transitional living program. I'll just type in part of the program name and double click. And once you double click, you'll see it'll come over to this side here, and that indicates that it'll be pulled for your report. And then I'm also going to choose the host homes program, DC host homes. This process of choosing dates and program names is the same for all of our reports. And one thing that I'll mention before we move on is that if you see down here in your bottom right of your report page, if you don't get that prompt when you click on the report, you can always click this little refresh button here and the prompt will show up. But most of our reports do have it set up so that the prompt will automatically pop up. Okay, and now I'm ready to run my report, so I'll just click OK. And some of our reports take longer than others to run. Most of them don't take longer than about 15-30 seconds. Okay, so here's the first tab of our demographics report. The first tab you'll usually see on most reports is a tab with summary information. For our demographics report, what that does is tells us the number of youth we served during the time frame we indicated in our prompt, and it gives key youth demographics. This report is very important to us because we're able to find out the unduplicated number of youth we're serving at LUIC at any given time at the program, department, and organizational levels. And using this report is a great way to keep tabs on how many youth you're serving in your program and their characteristics. The subsequent tabs of your reports normally will contain more detailed data or data for individuals. So for example, for our demographics report here, you can see that there's different tabs break out the data points in a little bit more detail. So for example, for this one, you'll just get age range, chart on gender, chart on county, ethnicity, and race, and etc. Filters are also a really helpful part of reports. Often you may need to filter the report so that you only want to see certain data. So perhaps you only want to run a report for a specific group, or maybe you only want data recorded by a certain staff member. Filters can help us do that. So let's say, for example, you want to run a demographics report and we want to filter on the program name. So previously, I ran this report for 2 different programs, and so I should have the ability to filter by each one of those programs to get the data for those programs only. So in order to do that, we'll click this filter icon up here, where it says click icon to add simple report filters. And from there, we're going to select program enrollment and then program name as what we'd like to filter on. Keep in mind that when you apply a filter, it only applies to the tab that you're working in. And so from there, I'll look at the values for program name. So I have 2 different values I can choose based on what I chose in my prompt. And so I'll just choose transitional living program for the data that I'd like to see. And so as you can see here, the data is different now, and that's because it's just showing it for this program. So now I'll switch it to host homes. And you can just go back to program name here and click all values to show all of the data. Or you can click remove to remove the filter altogether, which will show all of the data again as well. And I'm going to show you more examples for how to filter on different items when we look at the raw demographics report in the second part of this training. Okay, so let's talk about saving reports. The process of saving reports is the same for all of them. So what you'll do is you'll go up to the toolbar and click this icon here that when you hover over it says export. And then you'll get this pop-up here. You should keep reports checked off and then go down to this box and select the tabs that you'd like to save your report for. So you are free to save all of the tabs in your report, or you're able to just select certain tabs. So I'm going to select our overall external report only. And so I just unchecked the rest of them and selected this one. So next I'll choose my file type. So you might want to save the report in PDF or Excel. So I'm going to choose PDF and then click OK. And so then you'll get this dialog box below the report and have the option to either open your report or save it. Always keep in mind to save reports to LUIC's shared drive if they have any identifying information for youth, and that includes name, date of birth, social security number, and address. And that's just to make sure that we're maintaining data security. Thanks for participating in this first part of the module, and now go on to Module 2.